Hi students, welcome you all to the APPC subject, that is Apparel Production, Planning and Control. So we will discuss today what is the introduction part to the APPC is and what is exactly the Apparel Production and Planning and Control is. So as I already told in the previous session, like in the course description as well as the objectives, so APPC is a very crucial department and very important department in the apparel production technology or in the apparel production area. So the production planning and control is very important in terms of getting the good efficiency in the production line, good productivity of the industry, and the quality related aspects, particularly the output quality, that is garment quality. So the garment quality as per the customer requirements is very important to further getting the orders and as well as to approve this whatever the bulk products we are producing for the customer. So the customer need to accept whatever the quality we are producing. So nothing but we need to follow the customer requirements. So if we are not follow the customer requirements, automatically our garment production or whatever the garment we produced are going to be rejected from the customer. Okay, so that is why this production planning and control department is very important and crucial department to get the proper efficiency of the production line and to get more productivity and the quality as well. So we will start today's session related to introduction to the APPC is. Now we will see that what is exactly the outline of apparel industry is. So before going to the production line, planning and control departments, we need to see that, or we need to understand what is exactly the outline of apparel industry is. Now you can see here, so there is a research and development department or research and design department. Okay, and we have a prototyping or costing department, and we have sourcing and merchandising department, and we have a production department. So the first three are very important in terms of the prototype of product or sample to the bulk order. Nothing but to get the bulk order like 10,000 pieces of garments or 1 lakh garment pieces, what we required is we required a product development department or a research and development department as well as the designing department. So specifically like this department will produce or develop the product, and prototyping and costing department will evaluate what is exactly the costing is, how we can offer the price to the customer. And sourcing and merchandising is also another head of the departments, like the sourcing for the material, raw material procurement or raw material sourcing. So the raw materials are, there are n number of raw materials. So raw materials includes your fabric, your trims and accessories, packaging material, there are so many. So the sourcing is also one of the major department. And we have a merchandising department where the merchandisers are there, so they are going to be act as a bridge between the buyer and the manufacturing industry. Now along with this, a good company or a big company, we have all these departments along with the production department. So specifically we will see that what is exactly the production department is going to have. Now the production department is having like the garment industry or apparel industry, starting from the inspection and testing of the fabric which they have received, and then we have a lay and marker planning area where the laying can be occur and marker planning can be occur. So requirement of the customer depends upon that. What we are doing is we are going to prepare a marker, how many number of garments are required for specific quality, specific size. Say for example, if the sizes are like S, small, that is medium size, large size, XL and double XL for example. If the customer requirement is like a small, they required like a 500 pieces, medium they want 200, large they want 1000. Say for example, this is the order. Now what is we are doing is, in the marker planning department or design studio people, they are going to prepare the marker as per the requirement of the customer. Now this is also very important before the cutting and laying department. So the spreading and cutting department is there after the marker planning. So after the laying or spreading of the number of layers of fabric, that is number of plies are exactly depends upon the order we have received and how many number of markers are required. Now depends upon that the spreading can be occurred, so that the number of layers are going to be decided. After the bunch of layers of fabric done on the cutting department or cutting table, we are going to cut as per the marker prepared by the studio. Now after the cutting, the cut components are going to be sent for the sieving operation department or production department, that is sieving line, where exactly these cut components are going to be prepared for the final garment, as well as the final garment is going to be manufactured through these sieving operations. So where there are different type of different steps are present or different steps are there for the production of one garment. So there are operational breakdown where they are going to be divided each and every operation separately. They are going to calculate time required for particular operation, and they will calculate how many number of minutes or how many number of seconds are going to be taken for individual operation, as well as the total garment construction from the cut components. Okay, so these are going to be seen in the third unit where the operational breakdown is there. So we will see that few examples in that. And after sieving department, if the customer required wet processing or any chemical finishing or smooth finishes, we are going to send the garments, finalized garments into the wet processing. Then after the wet processing, we are going to press it and finish it, and then it is going to be final auditing. Then it will send to the shipping and distribution to the buyer. So this is how the complete outline of apparel industry will work. So these are the complete line of the departments. Individual departments have their own functions to get or to produce the garment for particular quality as per the requirement of the buyer. So this is the outline of the apparel industry. Now we will see what is exactly the PPC department is done. So what is the role of PPC department? Production, planning and control. Production, planning and control. So now you can see that PPC is one of the most important departments in the apparel industry. So this is very important department where production activities are going to be monitored, planning can be done, as well as quality also going to check or control. So all three factors or three parameters will be going to be comes under the PPC department. So as I told, it plays an important role in the apparel industry or business, and it helps to build up strong relation with the other departments to obtain maximum output from the export order. So the production also very major important. So now what is happening is in the production department, so these PPC people are going to plan what is the quality need to run and what is the time to complete the order. So particular operation, like say for example inspection. So the fabric inspection done these particular hours or these many days, so the PPC people can go into give the time for the inspection. Similarly, like PPC people are going to give the time to complete the production department, specifically like these many garments are required within this time of span. So within this span of time we need to complete all these garments. Like that the PPC people are going to give the time for the particular operation to the specific departments. So this is the major thing in the PPC department. So besides of this, production planning control department of clothing industry is also responsible for the timely shipment. So that is the timing, like I told. So individual operations or individual departments are given the time by the PPC so that we can deliver the goods within the specified time. So there should not be any delays. So that is a very important thing. And there are different types of work like task scheduling, material resource planning, loading production, process selection and planning, select location, estimating the quality and production cost, capacity planning and line planning, follow-up of and execution, etc. in the departments. So like the scheduling is also very major thing. So there are different types of works by the PPC people. Like I told, the planning is very important. So the material resource, like how the material and when the material is going to be received to the production department or to the industry, so that from there onwards they can plan the specific quality, okay, to producing the garments. So these scheduling, planning, production, everything is very crucial things. So everything will be followed up or monitored by the PPC people to get the garment quality correct, production within the time, so that timely shipment can be done. So these are the different types of works by the PPC department. Now we will move on to what are the different functions of PPC department is having. So the PPC is going to monitor the materials, that is sourcing of the materials. Then what are the methods need to be followed in the different production departments or different departments, and what is the machinery and manpower requirement for the particular quality, and what is exactly the routing is, and what is the estimating. We will see all the points like one by one, like scheduling and loading, then dispatching and expediting and inspection and evaluation. So these are the 10 functions, majorly 10 functions by the PPC department. So individually we will see that what is exactly the material is nothing but what are the methods, what is exactly the method is. Okay, so we will see one by one what is these PPC department functions are. Now the first function is material. Now the raw materials and finished parts and bought out the components should be made available in required quantities. So nothing but, as I told earlier, the material to the industry, nothing but, say for example, we are producing, the garment industry cannot manufacture the fabric. So what generally doing is, the fabric is going to be sourced from the weaving industry to the garment industry. Now when this fabric is going to reach to the apparel industry is one of the major things. So what is materials is nothing but the materials, all the materials required for the garment is necessarily available with the required quantities at a required time to ensure the correct start and end for the each operation, resulting in uninterrupted production. So nothing but the material has to be available, then only we can plan. So what is exactly the starting date, or what is exactly the starting time and ending time of this production, and what, so that this is going to be resulting into uninterrupted production, so that, for example, if you don't have the required quantity of material and you have started the production line, then what will happen? Particularly if it is not reached what you planned, the material is not reached what you have planned, so what will happen? So till the material available, the production is going to be occur. Then till after the completion of this material, so material is not available, you cannot produce anything, so you have to replan that. So that is why the material, we need to ensure that whether the material is available or not for particularly required quantity. Okay, then only after the required quantity of material available, then only we are going to plan for the production. Okay, so otherwise, so there is an interruptions in the production department, again you have to replan, and sometimes what will happen, because of these interruptions you cannot able to maintain the quality of the garment quality. So that is very important. So the functions include the specifications of material, that is quality and quantity requirement, delivery dates of the raw materials, variety reductions, and procurement and make or buyer decisions. So the procurement and material, like, so one type of it is like one type of sourcing of the material required for the particular garment quality. So this is about the material. So these PPC people are going to be monitored and take the follow up of the sourcing department, of the merchandising department regularly and continuously, so that whether the material is available or not. Then if the material is available, then only these PPC people are going to plan for the production line. So that is a thing. Now in the second one, that is methods. So what is the method is, the purpose of this function is to analyze all the methods of garment manufacturing and to select the best method. Okay, so they'll analyze the functions and they'll see that what is the operation and they'll analyze it. Okay, and which method it is taking less time and which is giving good quality, and they'll see it and they'll finalize it and they'll see this is the best method. They'll give it to the production department saying that this is the best method for the garment manufacturing. So this is a set of circumstances in the facilities, and it determines the sequence of operations and the division of product into assemblies and sub-assemblies modified by the limitation of existing layout or workflow. So the best method for the production as well as the flow of material. For example, if you are processing, like if you are producing the one garment, so there are different operations to complete the one garment, to make a garment. So now what is happening is, like starting if you have prepared a collar and ending if you have prepared a cuff, then there is no use. Like, so what you need to have is, there is a proper workflow proper method. So all the components are going to be prepared, that is called as a preparatory state, and after preparation there is a finishing stage in the sieving line. So again in the sieving line, if we have 40 number of operations, what we are doing is we are going to divide these two into separate sections. So the sieving line is going to be separated into two sections, separated nothing but the work which is going to be done by the siever or operator is going to be different. So particularly like 15 people, they are going to prepare the preparatory like cuffs, collars, pleats, okay, so sleeve plackets, all they'll prepare first. Then this will be going to attach to the component, and all these components are going to be attached to the body of the garment, so that finally you are going to make the garment. So we should have a particularly like a best method for the production, otherwise your production will lose, that is efficiency is going to lose and you will not get the any efficiency. So ultimately this efficiency is going to affect on the productivity, so the productivity is going to lose. Then next one is machine and manpower. So the method of garment manufacturing have to be related to available production facilities coupled with labor and a detailed study of equipment replacement policy. So this is what is exactly the manpower and machine requirement for the particular production area. So we need to identify, we need to see that what is exactly the type of machine is required for producing the particular quality of the garment, and how many number of workers or manpower is required to produce the garment without any interruptions. So this is the how the machine and manpower is very important. Okay, so this is the third function in the APPC, that is PPC, production planning and control. Now we will look after the fourth one, that is routing. So this routing is the flow of sequence of operations, the flow of sequence of operations and processes to be followed in the manufacturing. A lot is routing, nothing but the flow of sequence of operations are required to manufacture the garment. Okay, so any process, any operation, like there is a sequence of operations. To make a garment, like as I told earlier, there are like a preparatory stage where the cuffs, collars and pleats, plackets are going to be manufactured or made. Then after these are going to be, these cut components are going to be attached to the body, then the finishing can be done. So this is the sequence of operation. The routing is nothing but what is exactly the route, what is exactly the route of the production line. So that is also very important to get good efficiency, to do not lose any ideal, that is to do not lose any efficiency in the production line. So nothing but we are reducing the ideal time in the route. Okay, so as I told, for example, if we have preparatory state at starting and ending, if the cuff is preparing at one place and collar is preparing at another place, and these two has to be taken together at the middle of the line, then it will take more time. So that is, there should be a sequence of operation and there should be a sequence of process. So these components has to go in this manner only. This is called as a routing. Okay, the routing determines what work will be done on the product or parts, and when, where and how it will be done. So this is what I explained, when, where and how it will be done. Okay, so if you find out all these things, you will become like you will give a proper and correct route or best route for the garment production. Okay, so this is called as the routing. So it estimates the garment operation, their path, sequence proper class of machines and personnel. Okay. Then next one is estimating. Once the overall method and sequence of operations are fixed, process sheet for each operation is available. So then the operation times are estimated. Now estimating nothing but what is exactly the time required for particular operation. So estimating the operational time. So apparel estimation is carried out using extensive analysis of operations along with methods and routing and establishing a standard time for operation using work measurement techniques. So there are measurement techniques or method analysis as well as the work measurement techniques. So these work measurement techniques are going to be used to estimate the each and every operational time. So generally in the garment industry we are going to call it as SMV. Okay. So this will be going to calculate like each and every operation what is exactly the time is, how many number of seconds it is taking to complete the each operation. Okay. So we are going to estimating the operational time. Okay. So there are, like I told, there are, say for example, there are 40 operations or 50 operations. Each operation has to be estimated separately. Okay. So average and total time for the manufacturing or making a garment is going to be calculated. Then that is the final total time for the one garment. Okay. Now we will see that the next one, that is loading and scheduling. Loading and scheduling is nothing but the schedule is detailed plan for an immediate and relatively short time period. Okay. Schedule is a detailed plan for an immediate and relative to short time period. So we are going to give the schedule for the particular garment production. Then it requires greater importance in the manufacturing industry. Now machines have to be loaded according to their capacity and performance. So loading nothing but machines have to be loaded according to their capacity and performance. So we need to schedule or we need to plan that and we need to load into the machines for the manufacturing. Now what is exactly the dispatching is? Dispatching means it involves assignment of work to different machines or workplaces to release the order. Okay. So nothing but to release the order, what is exactly the time or what is the release of order time is. Now it is an important step as it translates production plans into reality and physical work. Okay. So reality into physical work, nothing but we are releasing an order. Okay. Then from here onwards the production is going to be happen and it is going to be physically the garments are going to be available in the department. Then after that we are going to inspect the garments which we have produced. It involves the activities that ensures the quality of the goods. So the quality terms nothing but different are there. One is, this is called as the size. So they are going to check the garment size after the production. So whether whatever the sizes we are producing the garment line, it is matching with the customer requirement or not, we are again ensuring into the before the bulk order completion. Nothing but after some pieces of garments produced, we are going to check that quality of the garment, whether it is doing correctly or not. So this is just like they are checking the size of the garment, whether the requirement the customer requirement we are following or not. Then you can see here there are some areas like where we need to exactly the inspect the stitches are doing correctly or not, properly it was stitched or not. We need to see all these quality aspects. So this is just one example. we will see that what is in the further sessions, what are the different components we need to check for the garment quality inspection. Okay, so in the inspection stage, what are the components we need to check for the garment, we can see in the further class. So this is how few things are going to be there. So you can see that the pleat at the bottom hem is not properly stitched like that. Okay, then next one is what is exactly the expediting is. So it involves the following of the parameters which regulate the process of materials and parts through the production process. Okay, expediting nothing but involves the follow up the parameters which regulate the progress of materials and parts through the production process. Okay, so this is called as the expediting, and the final stage in the PPC is that is evaluation. Evaluation means a thorough analysis of all factors influencing the production planning and control helps to identify the weak spots. So nothing but evaluation. So the PPC department is continuously monitoring all the departments, and they'll see that they'll check that where exactly the problems are happening, where is the weak spots are there. So if you identify these weak spots, then you can have a corrective actions, or you can plan the corrective actions in the further orders. Okay, so you can see here, however, the corrective action necessary to overcome the discrepancy will be affected by the feedback. So we are going to have a corrective action. So nothing but, so for example, if we are started in the production line, so after few garments something is happening, so the PPC people and IE persons, they are going to see that where is exactly the weak places. Now what is and how and why it is happening. So they will see all these things and they'll identify, and they need to sort it out, or they need to rectify that problem within the specified time. Then they can have a smooth production process. So if you want production efficiency more, we need to identify and we need to correct it before these weak places are becoming big thing. So that is why we need to have a continuous monitoring or continuous monitoring in the production line, so that we can identify the weak place, and within the less or specified time we are going to rectify that problem, so that the production department or production flow will be smooth, so that we will get the more efficiency in the department. So if we get the more efficiency, it leads to the higher productivity. Otherwise it is going to be effect on the productivity than the profitable margins. So these are the few things of functions of the PPC department. So in the next class we will see one by one. So just like I have explained what is exactly the PPC functions are, you can see here, and in the next class onwards we will start what is exactly the production and what are the different terms and terminologies are there in the apparel industry. We will look after. So till then, thanks for listening. Bye.